Hello, viewers of YouTube. I'm bunkergamer82, and today I'm going to be talking about emergency supplies on a budget while playing Fallout New Vegas. Now, I popped this game in, and I have loaded my old save. I don't remember any of this whatsoever. It looks like a party got out of hand in here. People were getting real crazy. Oh, jeez. Anyway, so emergency supplies on a budget. So what I like to refer to as emergency supplies or apocalypse supplies, I collect, just like video games. You know, I've been collecting them for a long time. My grandfather always had a large stack of emergency supplies, as my father did and as I do. I remember as a little kid, I would go down into my grandfather's basement, and I remember just standing there staring at all the canned goods. Like, my grandma and my grandpa used to can products. They would can vegetables, fruits, bunch of jams and jellies. Hell, my grandmother could even can meat, which, if not done properly, could make you real sick or, I don't know, possibly even die. But she could do it. She was amazing at that. Dried goods, a bunch of cans of soup and all that stuff. And then my grandfather, he fought in World War II. He had quite a large arsenal of multiple weapons. Like he brought a lot of stuff back with him from World War II. In my previous video, I showed off his Colt handgun, which is an amazing firearm. But yeah, he was ready to go, and my dad, he was the same way. A little bit more peaceful of a man, but he still had a couple guns ready to go, and he always had supplies. If something happened, he would have a couple months worth of food to go off of. Now, I've certainly taken it one step further than both of them, and I have stocked up on quite a large amount of goods. Enough to last a long time. I don't know exactly how long, but, depending on how many people I had to support, I got a year's worth easy. And if it was, just myself, I probably go a couple years. But anyway, so emergency supplies on a budget. People think nothing is ever going to happen, and that's just naive and ignorant to think like that. Tomorrow could bring all different types of doom. Civilized society is extremely fragile. You take away the electricity, and I guarantee you people would be eating each other within the month. Especially in our country. In the USA, the motto is all for me and fuck you. It's greed. Greed runs this country. If things went to hell, I guarantee you the federal government wouldn't do two shits for you or me. They'd be worrying about themselves. So you should worry about yourself. So anyway, everything is readily available for purchase in this country. I mean, we live in a country where we can purchase almost anything. We can't get RPGs and crazy shit like that, but you got a whole plethora of weapons, armor, food, all sorts of goodies. So when it comes to food, really, for the most part, you want to stick to dried food. Dried goods. White rice. Absolutely amazing. I cannot stress enough how amazing white rice is. Not brown rice, white rice. If properly stored, could last 100 years. What the hell is better than that? You got a product that you can just package, get all that air out of there, store it, and just forget about it. And if you ever need it in your lifetime, bam, it's right there. So go buy bags of rice. Hell, you can even keep them in the damn bags. One of my tactics was just to get get a bunch of Rubbermaid containers. Put the bags of rice in there. Shut them and forget about them. Coffee. Dried coffee. Folger crystals. What the hell ever. That's a good thing to have on hand. Hard candy. Super cheap. Nobody really likes hard candy. But you vac pack that shit and you forget about it. Put it in a box. You got your sugar source. Real jerky. Now, I'm not talking about the shit that you get at the gas station that's all moist. I'm talking about real dried meats. That are dry, like jerky is supposed to be. Not saying that the meats at the gas station aren't good, but those will go bad after a year or two. Now, dried meats, if you have properly cured and dried meats, those will last years and years. Now you got, so really just experiment. Anything dried, any food-based product dried. Dried beans, extremely cheap. You beans of every kind, pimento beans, lima beans, whatever the fuck bean. Buy yourself some beans. And who cares if you don't like them? Let me tell you something, you're gonna like them if you're fucking starving. Those beans are gonna taste fucking delicious. Because you haven't tasted upon food in weeks. Now for canned goods, there are a couple that are quite good to get. Now I experimented with the canned goods. Some I purchased turned out to be shit. Others real good. Spam and ham in a can are the two top on this list. They are fantastic. Their shelf life is a ridiculously long time. Now, I, like stated in my previous video, of the little tour that I did of my emergency supplies, or apocalypse supplies, I ate a can of Spam that was 10 years old. It looked fine, it smelt fine, and it tasted great. It tasted just like if you were to buy a new can of Spam, open it and eat it. I did not get sick. I did not perish. Nothing. Same goes with ham. That's a long shelf life on that. And that's your meat supply. That's a readily available meat supply. In the event of a horrible situation, it ain't going to be easy to get meat. Unless you're a hunter. I'm not a hunter. I purchased a hunting rifle for if I ever did have to do that, but I'd have to be pretty hard up to go hunting. I know very minimum about hunting. Anyway, for canned goods, you got soup. Purchase yourself some soup. Soup, that's a shelf life of 10 years. 10 years and you're good to go. Stews. Canned stews, and yeah, that's another one, man. Usually, canned goods have a shelf life of around 10 years. Minus fruits and vegetables. Now, I learned that the hard way. I purchased a lot of fruit, I purchased a lot of vegetables, and they turn brown and they spoil. You know, they only got a shelf life of a couple years, so I would stay away from those. And finally, for canned goods, you got beans. Get yourself some beans. You know, baked beans, man. Buy them up. They stay good a long time. Really, anything that has salt in it. You know, salt, it's a preservative. It's what preserves food. Back in the day, people used to pack their meats and their fish and all that shit in salt. Then you'd wash it off in water and you'd cook it up. That is how they were able to travel with food. So, water, get yourself any type of water. Get yourself bottled water, get yourself jugs of water. Just get water. Have water on hand. Water don't go bad. And if it does go bad, you boil the shit. Now, if you have a well, get yourself a generator. Get yourself a generator so you can run that pump. So you can still have water even if electricity goes out. So, you know, for weapons, now, I studied what I wanted and I figured out what I wanted, but for weapons and armor, you should really have a shotgun. It's preferable to, short range fighting, house fighting, close quarters. It's always good to have a shotgun. You want an assault rifle for medium range. That's going to be your bread and butter for defending your home. You want a long range rifle. You get in the intruders, and they're intruders. You can pick them off from a distance. Handguns. You always want handguns. You want handguns placed in several parts of your home so you can access them if you get an intruder. And that's day-to-day living. I'm not even talking about emergency situations there. Defend yourself, defend your home, and defend your family. And store all of these firearms in lockboxes. And you guard that code with your life. You don't want your kid finding guns and, doing God knows. I mean, that would be a nightmare. I don't know how you'd live with yourself if something like that happened. It wouldn't be good. And then, don't forget your combat knives. Get knives, man. You want to keep a knife on you. What if your gun jams? What if you got an enemy on you and you didn't see him? You pull that fucking knife out and you stab him in the goddamn head. Well, more preferably the stomach. But not even stab. A lot of people stab with knives. You want to slash. If you think of the human body, we're walking balloons. You stab somebody, you're going to mess them up good. If you slash them, not to get disgusting, but they're going to spill out. I mean, nobody is going to attack you if you slash their stomach open. They're going to be done. For ammo's expensive as hell, and it's getting pricier and more rare by the day. Get yourself a .22 long rifle or handgun. Those bullets are still readily available, and they're cheap. .22 long, that's cheap, man. And like I said, with the shotguns, you can still get pretty cheap shotgun shells. And get yourself a whole variety. You want spread shot and you want slug, you want it all. So, for other goods, I had to highlight this. Now, propane tanks. Collect yourself some propane tanks. Small propane tanks, big propane tanks, what the fuck ever propane tanks. Their shelf life is amazing. Again, 100 years. As long as the cylinder is not pierced, that fuel supply will remain good. Propane tanks are amazing. And like I said, this supplies on a budget. Obviously, the weapons and propane tanks aren't that cheap. The cheap part would be the food and the water. But you can find deals on guns. They don't have to be new. You go to used gun stores, there's plenty of wonderful firearms to choose from for a half or even quarter of the price. You know, am I a gun expert? Absolutely not. Uh, at the same time, I know a thing or two. And I don't need, only 2 of my firearms have been brand new. The rest of them have been used. Because I like a deal. And, they are perfectly fine. Firearms are extremely well made. Just by examining a firearm and its condition, you can tell if the thing's going to work or not, if it's going to be reliable or not. If it's all banged up and the barrel looks weird, obviously you wouldn't purchase that, but stores wouldn't be selling that anyway. So, just be savvy with it. We live in the information age. You have all information available to you. You can look up anything. I can look up how to milk a fucking camel. Like anything. It doesn't matter. You look it up. Information. So, and finally, I want to get to the point of trade items. You want to collect stuff that you could trade in the event that the government or country has collapsed. And what you want to collect is gold, silver, bullets, and food. Your paper money, that's going to be shit. You might find some people that still take it, but for the most part, you use that shit for kindling. Because it's fucking worthless. It's paper. But gold, silver, bullets, and food are always going to have value as long as there are people on this planet. You can trade that for what you need. Going back to propane tanks, now, I forgot to mention, that, they have double uses. Now, you obviously could use them as a fuel source, or you could also blow them up. That they make fantastic bombs. We used to blow those fucking things up when I was a teenager back in the woods. I mean, that is a huge fucking explosion. You can do a lot with them. But, yeah. That's my little spiel on emergency supplies on a budget. I haven't played much of the game here. I had, I wrote down a lot of stuff just so I could cover all the elements. Service rifle here. I kind of remember a little bit. It has been forever since I played this game. I'm guessing 6, 7, 8 years. I do believe this was the game where I was just killing everybody. Well, let's see here. But yeah, man, you always want to be prepared. And there ain't no harm in it. You don't have to go as AWOL as I did with it, as fucking nuts. Just collect a little bit. Get yourself a couple months worth of food. Get yourself a firearm. Be self-dependent. Because, anything could happen. What the hell? I have no idea what I'm getting shot by. World War II wasn't that long ago. You know, the world can go to shit real quick. The best example is the stupid fucking coronavirus. Now, everybody remembers in this country when the coronavirus first hit, people started freaking the fuck out. And they went to all the stores, and they purchased everything. You couldn't get any fucking toilet paper, man. Yeah, there were people out there that couldn't wipe their asses. They were using fucking paper towels and shit to wipe their asses, because if something happens, people get panicked, and they essentially go crazy. That's what people do. They panic, then they go crazy. And they will buy up everything. If an event happened in this country that was serious, those stores would be empty so damn quick. Hell, modern day, present, today, those stores aren't readily stocked still. It's been, what, almost 2 fucking years since coronavirus bullshit. And the stores still aren't stocked properly. They blame this, they blame that. The federal governments, they are just filled with excuses. Excuses. Nothing is ever their fault. You know, they didn't do anything. It's the terrorists' fault. It's the hackers' fault. It's Russia's fault. It's China's fault. It's everyone's fault except the United States of America's government. You know, they don't do anything. Those people are innocent. You know, they're just trying to make our lives better. Now, you're watching this, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, that's fine. That is your choice and your opinions. I would never make fun of somebody or put them down because of their views or opinions. I'm neither. You know, I believe that the Democratic House is just as corrupt as the Republican. The entire federal government is corrupt. And nothing is ever going to solve that unless you start enforcing the corruption. You know, and it's never going to be perfect. I don't care what government you put in, you're always going to have corruption. But here's an idea. Make it so the people who are being corrupt, if they get caught, you get the death penalty. Now, I'll tell you one thing that scares people in this world, and that is death. A lot of congressmen and bullshit artists are going to think twice if the result is death if they get caught. Think about what happens if they get caught. Nothing. You know, maybe they'll go to a jail and live like a fucking king for a couple of years. Live in a cell that's better than most of our houses. It's a joke. It is a fucking joke. No, you know, if the death penalty, and I know that's harsh, but it's what it would take. If the death penalty was enforced for corruption in the government, it would get cleaned up real fucking quick. If the President of the United States of America was caught being corrupt, death. Move on. There's got to be a better way to run stuff. You know, this country was functioning quite well in the 80s when I was a child. Hell, it's been functioning okay. Not the best in all of the 2000s. But now, it just, past couple of years, it just seems like it's gone to absolute shit. Especially this year. Like, this year has been a fucking joke. But anyway, I'm getting into politics shit. I don't talk about politics that much. Because I have no faith in the federal government. Now, whatever scenario you want to bring up, we'll bring up the fucking zombie apocalypse. We'll bring up, and which in the zombie apocalypse, I'm fucking set. I don't gotta go anywhere. I got enough ammo to fucking kill zombies for years and years and years. I got no worries in that scenario, though I don't think the dead are going to be rising anytime soon. No, my concern is civil unrest. That's what I have prepared for, and that's what I'm ready for. In the event of a nuclear apocalypse, you know, nukes going off all over the place, you can prepare all you want. You're going to die. You know, use common sense. The ones who are going to survive are in the state-of-the-art bunkers. The federal government, a lot of their heads will survive because they have gigantic bunkers stocked with endless amounts of food, supplies, everything they have taken from us. But, you know, you got some little bunker in the ground behind your house. You got maybe enough resources for a year or so. What are you going to do after that year? Are you going to come out into the apocalypse and start farming?
Hello, potential
Are you going to start functioning? No. And more than likely, you're going to die. 95% of us would die in a nuclear apocalypse. Now, the less devastating apocalypse scenarios is biological and chemical. They'd wipe the shit out of us still, but the remaining would have a little bit easier of a time than in a nuclear apocalypse, but it still wouldn't be good. You know, I'm not prepared for those, and, well, in some ways, I'm prepared for those. You know, like, if the nukes hit, and me and my family are getting radiated, you know, I have the option to put us out of our misery. That's about the only plus to having all the supplies, is that you're not helpless in any situation. You have some power. You have some say. I have no fucking idea where I'm going. This is the farm to, I believe, the main city. You know, the Las Vegas. No clue what I'm doing. I just figure, you know, pop this game in. This would be a proper game to play while I was talking about such subjects. Civil unrest is the big one, though. You know, like, that is my personal fear. Well, and don't forget about war. And I'm forgetting one of the biggest ones. We ever go to war, if this country ever gets invaded, so many things are going to collapse so damn quick. You know, and you'll be on your own. You'll be on your own, defending yourself. Holy shit. Got some caravanners here. Almost out of ammo. Alright. What else we got? Let's give him the machine gun. Woo! I killed the poor animal. This game is so much fun. I absolutely love the Fallout series. Very good stuff. But yeah, I don't want to make this video too long. I just figured I'd make a video and voice my opinion. You know, prepare yourselves. And I hope to God nothing ever happens. I hope I don't have to use any of the stuff that I've purchased. But it's nice to have peace of mind. Because let me tell you something. You don't want to die from starvation. That's a terrible death that no one should have to experience. Well, thank you very much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. And you have yourselves a great day.